Hello and welcome back to another Tea Time with me, Amanda Prochaska. I am so excited today because we have a special guest. Claire Barnes, the co-founder and CEO of Konnect House, is here with us today. I love what Konnect House is doing so much that I wanted Claire to come on and share their journey with us. Also, another female CEO. I always love doing that. So, Claire, welcome today.
Thank you, Amanda. It's great to be here.
Uh, yes, I'm so thrilled to have you on. First, before we go ahead and get started, I always ask people to grab their favorite drink because it is tea time.
Yeah.
And so we're gonna kick back and enjoy the video together. So Claire, first question for you, what are you drinking?
So actually, because it's 5:30 here, Amanda, I have natural energy, pineapple and passion fruit, lots of caffeine and a bit of vitamin C. Keep me awake. I can't have coffee this time.
Yeah, no,
This
no,
late
but
in
if
the
I
day,
drink
so
if I drink that at 5:30 at night, I would be up all night long. So hopefully
I'll
that
cut
doesn't
my.
happen to you. I'm
Hmm.
actually drinking some mushroom kind of thing. It was like a pick me up this morning. Not sure quite what it is, but it's supposed to be great for your mental clarity. So hopefully it kicks in on the call today. Okay.
Very good.
So Claire, I know you've been on quite the journey with Connect House. So for everyone here listening today, can you tell us a little bit about Connect House and what you're trying to do within the procurement community and beyond?
Yeah, so for people that don't know anything about Connect House or who we are or where we came from, I originally came into procurement through Mike Cadue. I was working at Procurement Foundry for him, and he brought me in right at the start of his journey to build out a series of content and events for that Procurement Foundry community. And I worked with Mike for just over 5 years, loved every minute of it. Great community of people to work with. Procurement, particularly, such an open and friendly community of people so willing to share and support each other. And have built obviously some great connections over the years. And then 2024, Procurement Foundry took a different direction and it gave myself and my business partner, Sophie, the chance to spin the events out of Procurement Foundry, set up on our own business, and essentially just run with it and continue the launch pad of what we had for Procurement Foundry, staying within that community. We've built some great connections over the years with Procurement Foundry, and my business partner Sophie and I wanted to spin the events out and fill a gap in the market for events, particularly in procurement, that we felt was missing. And by this, I mean we're very focused on intimate, smaller, focused, topic-led events. So we're not looking to compete in any way with the SIGs or DPWs. We're being very focused on what we do, bringing the right people into a room and matching them with like-minded peers, like-minded vendors, and making sure that every conversation is a valuable one.
I love what you guys are doing with those kind of really focused events. In fact, coming up in May here, you have two back-to-back events, the
We
Lone Wolf
do.
event
Yeah.
and the Women in Procurement event. So can you talk a little bit about both of those events? Because I think it will bring through how your vision is maybe a little bit different than other conferences too.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what we wanted to do, was find untapped markets that we knew we could develop. And again, the Lone Wolf community, that first event that's happening in May, that is a group that originated and within Procurement Foundry.
Mhm.
And it is very much an untapped group of solo procurement practitioners and leaders of small procurement teams. And by small teams, we mean sort of 1 to 10 people. And they have a very different journey to CPOs, as you know, that are in large global enterprises,
Yeah.
very different budgets, different structures. So we wanted to deliver something for them where they were in a space with people that are in the same role, the same business, the same challenges that they're facing on a daily basis. and again, match them with vendors that we know they're investing in those specific areas to make sure that we kind of bring that community together and give them a platform to collaborate and share experiences and learn from each other. So that is a new event that we launched with the pack leader, Paul Nielsen of Douglas Elliman. So we've been working
awesome.
yeah, he is.
Yep.
We've been working very closely with Paul and a number of advisors that have helped us put that program together. So that's a 2-day event in New York, which is happening, and we're sold out for that event, which is awesome. Really, really delighted with that. And we kept it, again, small, intimate. We are very tight on our ratios of buy side to sell side. You know, it's not a vendor-led event, it's market driven, it's very focused on content, and you can guarantee that every conversation that happens there has been born out of market needs. So, you know, thoroughly researched, and a really exciting couple of days coming up. And you're speaking at that one, Amanda.
I am speaking at that one. And then we have the Women in Procurement event the next day after the Lone Wolf, and I get to MC that event. So I'm thrilled about that. So one of the things about the Lone Wolf event that I keep on telling people, I think it's genius that you guys are doing it, first of all. And second of all, it is one of the most innovative groups of people that I've ever met with in procurement. When you have a lone wolf, or even someone that's grown the team from 1 to 5, let's just say, like that's smaller, but they usually have very limited budgets. They are hyper creative. They solve the procurement problems with almost no money. And where they do have money, they spend it very, very wisely. So I love that group of people, because I feel like even though often they're overlooked in some of those other conferences and stuff, they are really, truly the heartbeat of innovation within procurement. So I cannot wait for that event.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and I think giving everybody the chance to come together like that, it's not happened before. And we have plans to deliver something in Europe for lone wolves that are in Europe, UK. We want to look to do something in 2026 for this side of the pond. So yeah, that's something that we're really keen to explore and continue and expand.
Awesome. Amazing. Can you go into a little bit about the Women in Procurement event that's following the Lone Wolf, and what was the vision there, and what you're hoping for that event?
Yeah, this is a really exciting one, and it's come together. It's an event that actually, when was at Procurement Foundry, we had a sort of half-day seminar that sat alongside some of the larger conferences that we did. But as we evolved, obviously, into Konnect House, or launched Konnect House, we had a chance to completely rethink it, revamp it. And in doing that, I brought in a group of advisors that could help steer the direction and content of that program. Again, Amanda, you've been one of our advisors for helping us put that content together. So I brought in some people I've worked with over the years that I know are awesome at what they do and can help shape something that is suited for women in procurement, women in business. So we've got this incredible day lined up with some awesome speakers. It is essentially put together for director level and above, so business women in senior roles, leadership roles, possibly managing teams, but essentially steering the direction of the procurement organization. And we've created a platform for them to come together. It's a chance for women to come to the event and meet at the event and connect and continue conversations and the networking after that event has actually happened. So it's creating a support network that will ultimately evolve and continue post that event. What's really important about this event is it's not for women to become better at their jobs in procurement. We made that decision with the advisors, with the direction of the advisors, that it is for women in business. And yes, it happens to be women in procurement, but it's essentially those challenges that we all face as women in business. So a chance for people to come together, share their experiences, how they overcame X, Y, and Z, and actually just come together and think about not just moving forward in their own careers, but really inspiring that next generation of women that are coming into procurement. It's a key aspect of what this event is all about. So again, I think what's interesting, when I was researching, I spoke to a number of women who have been in procurement for 25, 30 years, who were coming to speak. And they said to me when they started, they didn't have a network. They didn't have any support around them. They didn't know who to reach out to. They were in a role that was very heavily, I'm not really supposed to say male dominated, but male dominated. And they were completely on their own, and women face very unique challenges. And they said to me it would have been fabulous to have the opportunity to have this network. It's like GWPP that you have set up.
Right.
It gives people a space to reach out for support. And if we can give that to the next generation of women coming through into procurement, then that's essentially what this is all about. So really excited about obviously a lot of the content that's going to be delivered through that day.
I will say one of the things, like what inspired me to create GWPP a couple years ago is very similar to what you're trying to achieve with this day, right? The concept is honoring the women who came before us who didn't have that sense of community, right? They forged the way ahead of us, made a path for us to be where we are today. Now we still have a lot of forging to do, right? Like in the industry and in the profession ourselves. But one way to get there is to create these communities, because if we can share stories and learn from each other, we can accelerate our path forward. And that's where it's not just about the networking, right? I'm sure there's going to be a ton of networking and a ton of relationships built. The important part is that the women who attend continue to forge that community outside of the event, right? They can contact each other when they have situations arise, or when they need a referral, or when they need advice, whatever that might look like. And that's why I think it's really cool that GWPP and Wonder Services and Konnect House, we're all working together to put this into our landscape within procurement, right? Like I just love that concept. And if we can work together to achieve that, there will be many dreams come true.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You say it's about giving people that network of support that they can reach out to. I mean, one major thing that I want people to come out of this event with is a connection, somebody that can be a mentor, a friend for future generations of people coming into this space. So that's really what this is about. I mean, obviously, there's a huge amount of fantastic topics that we're talking about. Everything from business-orientated leadership development, silent discrimination, workplace bullying, embracing AI and using that as an ally. Something not to be feared. How people are embracing that. We've got Dorinda Goman coming, talking about emotional intelligence. Really, navigating different personalities, difficult personalities in the business, as we know, procurement becoming much more strategic, speaking to stakeholders, building your brand internally, all of those key aspects that are part and parcel of being in procurement, but also being a woman in business.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like I was just teaching my children over the weekend about how to manage difficult relationships. So it even can apply to your home life as you learn those skills. So one quick question. So first of all, I'm just so honored to be highly involved in those upcoming events. It's just going to be such a great time in May in New York. And to meet not only that very innovative group of lone wolf procurement professionals, but then also hanging out for a day with so many amazing women in procurement. So if anyone's watching today and they're like, I want to speak at these events, or I want to attend one of these events in the future, how do they get in contact with you? How do they go about doing that?
Yeah, so obviously you can find me on LinkedIn. And you can look at the website, www.konnecthouse.com, and that lists all of the events. Each of the events has registration details, but you can ping me on LinkedIn or send me an email, claire.barnes@konnecthouse.com. Let me know you're interested in speaking. There are a number of, I'm trying to think who set up that incredible spreadsheet of women speakers. Was it Susan Walsh?
Susan Walsh has a group on LinkedIn. I know
Yeah,
Sarah Barnes Humphrey has
yeah,
a lot of work that goes into that. There are so many women that are wanting to speak. So I'm just so grateful that
yeah.
those two women have brought those resources together for us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've had a lot of people that have reached out to me having received the information on the event saying that they want to come and speak. So we've been putting people into the agenda, and they're people that I haven't worked with historically that are just really excited to see a program like this. And there's not been a huge amount out there just kind of for the day. And it's something we want to ideally move around the US. Obviously,
Yep.
this is very New York focused, and it worked for us because we were over in the States in New York, but it's got potential to be so much more.
I agree. I cannot wait to continue to work with you and take it all over the United States and maybe even beyond, right? Into Europe eventually, maybe,
Yeah.
and broader than that. So, okay, speaking of that, let's talk a little bit about the future. So, what's exciting to you coming up in the back half of the year for Konnect House?
Okay, so we've got our first London event coming up, which is great for us. We're not having to fly across
Right.
the pond. So that's Agentic AI, which is an event that we are running in San Francisco next week, actually.
Okay.
And we are replicating that in London. Obviously, super hot topic. We're really looking at the kind of execution of that within procurement, so very practical focused. That event is running in September in London, and we are delivering technology sourcing. That's an event that's run for 3 years now, very closely in affiliation with Procurement Foundry. Obviously, it was born out of
Yep.
Procurement Foundry, and we're running that with the same commitment to Procurement Foundry that we've put it out over the last few years. We've got a brand new set of advisors for that event, a whole load of new speakers. It's in Chicago in November. That's
Nice.
a bigger event, around sort of
Mhm.
300 practitioners, purely for folks who are driving strategy and change within procurement, IT, technology, procurement space. So that's a new one that, well, sorry, not a new one, but it's one that's coming up later in the year. And then really we're just planning through 2026. We want to do a lot more for the lone wolf community. There's a whole host of virtual events that are coming out, webinars, so content that is just really being planned through the rest of the year. But
when I meet founders out in the industry who are supporting procurement and beyond, you can tell the ones that just have a real, true, deep-rooted passion for what you do, and you're one of those, right? And I'm sure that motivates you day in and day out to bring this amazing content and relationships to procurement professionals. So kudos to you and Sophie. You guys are doing an amazing, amazing job.
yeah,
And we're so glad that you're here. I will see you in May.
yes.
And are there any parting words that you want to leave with the audience today? Any closing thoughts that you want to wrap up with? No, it's a that I always hurt I always curveball people at the end. If
Yeah. Really just, we really believe in what we're delivering at Konnect House, and we've got a great passion that has been born out of a community that we've worked for 4 or 5 years. And as I mentioned before, it's an awesome group of people. Met some fabulous people along the way, including your very good self. And we want to deliver stuff that we know the market wants to see. There's a big difference in events between speaking to your market and delivering stuff that you know people want, rather than just putting stuff out that you think that they want. So you
right.
have to really speak to people, understand people, and be true to what you're delivering. And that's what we're offering. So I think there's great potential. There's a lot of new stuff. We're always looking for new ideas.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you very much. Cheers to you and everything that you're doing.
Thank
Enjoy your
you.
evening, Claire, and
Thanks,
we'll see
Amanda.
you in May. Thanks everyone for watching today. I'm Amanda Prochaska. I'm the Chief Wonder Officer and founder of Wonder Services. We bring you tea time on all kinds of different procurement related content, and then also change adoption focused areas. So if you liked what you heard today, hit the like button and subscribe, and you'll be hearing from us soon. So until next time, cheers to you and have a great day.